Dylan, can you see me?
Oh, I can,
Oh,
John.
no, that must mean that I'm not the John we're talking about today.
Your time is up. I love China. You can't see me. Communism is the best.
Yeah,
What happened to Taiwan? Nothing.
nothing. I mean Chinese Taipei, actually, Dylan.
Oh, sorry. It's whatever the leaders want us to
Yeah.
call it.
I mean Xi Jinping's favorite vacation spot. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hmm.
of course, we're talking about one of the Bella twins' exes. I just in that moment realized I
That's
couldn't
it.
remember which Bella twin it was.
It's Nikki.
Is it Nikki? What's the other Bella
Yes.
twin's name? Annabelle?
Bree.
Bree. Annabelle. What the hell?
Annabelle.
Annabelle
John,
Bella.
you were, of course, raised in the 1930s.
I, of course, am a
Gertrude,
yeah. I'm a flapper. I mean,
Nikki, and Gertrude Bella.
Dylan does know this personality quirk of mine, which is my current girlfriend has a normal modern name, but before
Uh-huh.
that, it was an absolute spree of 90-year-old women's names.
Yeah. Yeah, just Gertie,
Gertie,
Ger-
Petunia.
Petunia,
Imagine dating a Petunia. And this is my girlfriend Petunia, and I,
Teddy Roosevelt, the girl.
Teddy Roosevelt, the girl. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, a woman
Teddy
though.
Roosevelt.
Yeah. Girl, girly
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, of course, with only her cunning to protect her. Dylan, how excited are you to talk about John Cena? Because you know what I never did is I may have for a bit actually hated him. I got a bit bored, but I love John Cena. He's Hulk Hogan in the '90s, but for real. What do you like, John? I like rapping. I like thick women, and I like helping kids.
He does have some. He's a very interesting guy because it's like he was supposed to be their new dude at the Ruthless Aggression era. And then they went to PG and they basically had to pretend that his whole character wasn't, I'm going to fuck this lady and she's going to love that I fucked her.
Yeah. Also, I will then rap about fucking her, and it will not be complimentary.
Oh, every single rap was just like, you're gay. I'm not gay. That was every rap.
Oh my god, the ramp to the Big Show feud where he gets the U.S. title is he's like, actually, my dick is bigger than yours, and Big Show goes,
That's a ton of it.
no, it's not though, and then they have a match, and I got to tell you, we're all on John Cena's side.
Yeah, they have a match. Yeah, that was one of the last feuds where the main part of it was the babyface says they have a huge dick. That's also how they turned Lance Storm face in WCW. Turns out he has a big dick.
It was in ECW, sir.
No, that was in WCW
Uh,
too,
was
because
it?
he fucked Major Guns.
Was it in
That's the
WCW?
storyline.
I know in ECW they did it, and it was the best. Yeah, this guy is boring, but he's got a huge dick, and I love the ECW
Mhm.
audience was like, "Well, thank you for telling us. This man is now
Yeah, he's got a big dick, I guess.
yeah, it's also Paul Heyman. Like people like talk about the booking of Paul Heyman, where it's like he was a genius, and it was like,
Yeah, yeah. How'd he get that guy over? He has a big dick.
yeah, he's just like.
Gets a lot of
Here's
cum.
the craziest thing about wrestling, which is I'm desperate for them to go back to the salad days of, well, why is he the baby face? His dick's huge. Well, thank you. Finally,
Yeah, exactly. He never eats pussy, bro. You fucking eat pussy, you're gay. That's all the heels. All the heels
exactly. Yeah,
eat out women.
yeah. You know how incels believe that having sex with a woman is somehow a homosexual act? Paul Heyman invented that, and that was the character of Just
That
Incredible.
was all wrestling. All wrestling was just what incels believe, but monetized.
Yeah, and now
Monetized worse actually, because you have to rent a venue and a ring, and there's gotta get refs. You don't just like straight up have a podcast where you talk about it. You
yeah,
do a whole play,
you just put it a
an
whole.
incel play.
You have to continually invent different ways to get screens into hockey arenas to do the type of incel that wrestling creates. Do you think about
Yeah, you
the
have to convince someone. Wrestling's never been profitable enough that most shows don't have someone set the ring up for free. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Like wrestling is a billion-dollar industry still based on the premise that we can get this guys to do this. Why? Because they have a dream. Do you understand that I'm a stand-up comedian and I can look down on people who want to get into wrestling in terms of not standing up for your personal, like your
Mm-hmm.
personal safety? And I'm a stand-up comedian. Like the amount of times I just was driven in a car by a drunk man pales in comparison to the amount of time a future wrestler's like just speaking to a man who's smoking, who has a lot of child porn. He's like, yeah, you can touch the metal that's rusty.
That's why I like wrestling, and that's what John Cena grew up in. His dad was a wrestling promoter, which makes me think that
Also,
He's got a lot of skeletons in his closet, even
isn't
more
that
than just.
that fact? No, but that fact right there, I went, oh, that's what it is. Like, because John Cena is like, well, I'm not going to have kids because I'm too busy wrestling. And you're like, oh, because John Cena was like, Dad, can we play catch? And he's like, no, I got to go bail out Kamala because some motherfucker gave him fucking dark liquor again.
Yeah, blame it. That's a real good thing. Blame it on the type of alcohol, not the person.
Oh
That's
my,
something that be
isn't
left
that
to the
good? I
past.
have to be totally honest. I got that from a couple that was arguing in front of a bar that I jogged by in the daytime on Sunday, and I don't know what she said, but his response was, "Well, they gave me a Dos Equis," and I was just like, "I like that." He's like,
That's honestly for some people, it's like, you know how it gets when I drink whiskey. It's
I,
not me who needs therapy. It's the whiskey's fault.
I remember saying this to an ex girlfriend who always was like, "You know how I get when you drink whiskey," and I went, "Yeah, it's interesting." You're very similar to that when you're not drinking whiskey. The difference is when you drink whiskey, you have an excuse for your behavior. And let me tell you,
You know,
that doesn't help things.
didn't go well.
Yeah. Well,
John Cena did have fucking. He had a another wife. His name was Elizabeth Hubero.
oh, she got cheated on. Let's talk about this, guys.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
she fucking got fucking cucked.
So we're gonna jump around John Cena's career. Listen, it's the end of this. We're coming towards the end of this podcast. Research is hard. Dylan is literally just editing a
I'm
TikTok
looking
video
at
while we're recording this.
pictures of Elizabeth Huberdeau.
Okay, okay. Describe her in terms of.
He was born in West Newbury,
I knew
Massachusetts, much
that.
like John Cena, and it seems that they were just like they knew each other for a long time. He married her, but then he got in one movie and he dumped her.
Yeah, it sounds like a real Canadian reason to get married. Why'd you get married? We were in high school sweethearts and we didn't break up in college. Now we're getting married. Like that's
Yeah.
what it seems. Yeah.
We're from a small town. I can trust her now that I'm a millionaire. Oh wait, I want to cheat. I'll pay millions to cheat. That's why you get divorced. I'll divorce her. I'll be getting millions after this, and I will be cheating the whole time.
Yeah.
Oof. Honestly, the investment in my own freedom was worth it because
Okay.
oof, it's not as hot if I'm not cheating. So now I'm gonna start engaging in another woman and cheat on her. Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I had to pay out millions in my divorce, but I went on to have a threesome that involved getting my ass eaten while I golden showered. That's right. I went through the tunnel of love. Like, yeah, let me just John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real telling moment. Is John Cena apparently was livid at one of the Ric Flair speech, like Hall of Fame speeches, where he talked about partying with Ric Flair all the time. Like he was like there's some anecdote of Ric Flair was near a microphone, and then he was like, and I was drinking with Cena as per usual, which was apparently like they were drinking buddies, and Cena was like,
Yeah, don't fucking talk like that.
and it's something about like John Cena's
I
like,
get it though. That'd be like Weinstein being like, and I was partying with Hastings. You know how it is, and you'd be like, shut the fuck up.
yeah, and I'll be like, first of all, imagine how horrible Dylan's been with parties with me. I'm not fun at a party. Like, this is why I'm like, where's John? Well, he's outside speaking with three people that are smoking, and then he'll leave. Like,
Smart. Actually, I don't know how many parties we've been to together. This is the thing. Someone always has a show.
yeah,
I don't really go to, I never really, even when I was drinking, it was like, I'm very hammered with three people.
yeah. This is the thing. It was I always would go to bars. Like my drinking, especially, is like, where did you used to drink? Well, at places that stayed up late or basements of people I knew.
Yeah. You just end up getting drunk with four guys.
Oh yeah, that's
That's how, yeah, you get drunk after work. That's
very true.
comedy.
We've never been to a party together, but we have sat on a lot of lawn chair furniture and been absolutely hammered. The amount of
Yeah, that's how you're supposed
the
to.
amount of grass I've sat on drunk with you is innumerable. Let me tell you a fun thing about Dylan is the funnest guy drinking, but then it just goes so dark. Like you're just like you're literally talking about which monster truck you'd rather own, and then he just turns to you and just starts speaking about the abyss.
Hell yeah, sick. That's how it's supposed to be. John Cena has an award-winning scientist for a stupid fucking cousin. Also, he's raised Roman Catholic. Whoa.
He was raised Roman Catholic in Massachusetts. Let me say this right now. John Cena has a lot of slurs that come to mind whenever he sees Booker T. Not because he is racist, just because that's how people spoke until he was 25 or when he still goes home. Like in one of his rap videos, he just drives around in weird mini bikes that I'm pretty sure just
Mm-hmm.
a guy he knows made. Like John Cena,
Oh yeah,
best.
that's the origin for him. And a lot of like that hate was when they full went Cena push, and then he had that rap video on Raw they showed in its entirety, and I was like, I remember watching that being like, oh, everyone just hated this guy right now. Like,
Yeah,
there's no, yeah.
we're gonna really jump around, but there was no better moment than when John Cena debuted on Raw in the weird Spirit of '67 basketball jersey T-shirt that was so baggy, and like people lost their fucking. It was so fun.
Because the other thing about Cena was a really good, and this is the secret sauce to why Cena started being a babyface. He was the underdog because you had like the hand picked, and it was so obvious, hand picked and everything,
Oh,
Dave
that's such a great
Batista.
point. Yeah, because like
And
yeah,
he was on SmackDown, and SmackDown is the show that's portrayed as having the worst wrestlers. So it's like you made this like underdog brand, and then you flip Cena and Batista, and it's like Batista just kind of comes off like he lost a bunch of momentum, and Cena comes off as a fucking chosen one.
it's such a great point. Yeah, the SmackDown Six, sort of their heir apparent, as it turned out, is kind of John Cena. In that the SmackDown Six, especially as it grew more in lure, it wasn't something that was. I remember I was watching wrestling at that time. So when I got back into wrestling in university, was like around the like right after the SmackDown Six, and no one acknowledged it like that. It was something that we've uh, uh, upon reflection been like, oh my god, that was amazing. But what it did do in that moment is SmackDown was the more fun show to watch because you had characters like on the Raw, it was literally like um Chris Benoit's the world champion and Triple H is in white boots and it's so boring. And then you'd watch SmackDown and like three segments are Eddie Guerrero pranking the Big Show with a burrito that makes him fart, and then Kurt Angle is on Percocet and killing it. Like I do not know what they put in Percocet and Oxy if you take it in the morning, but by about 6 o'clock when you are filming a segment with Teddy Long, it's watchable. Like it had everything. This is when Dawn Marie killed Tori Wilson's dad by,
Yeah, with their pussy. Yeah,
by fucking him to
yeah.
death.
Fuck,
This
her
is
pussy was too good, and he's dead now.
this
Sorry.
is the best time in the history of SmackDown, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when John Cena rose. And how did John Cena rise? Not as a wrestler, Dylan, not as a wrestler, but as a guy who would come out. They would go doodle 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 doodle. He would come
He'd
out.
be like, "My dick is big, yours is small. You are gay, I am not gay." And then
What's the
everyone would be
third?
like, "Fuck yeah, man, you're
What's the
fucking not gay. That's fucking
the third
sick,
thing?
dude."
There's the third thing that you're missing to the secret sauce of John Cena, which is my dick is big and your dick is not big. I
Mm-hmm.
am not gay, and that is good. And third thing is, I don't know what sports team plays here, but let me tell you who's better, the sports team that you guys don't like. And people are
Yeah.
like, for some reason, people, and then he did the amazing switches. He starts just being like, your sports team's okay, actually. And everyone's like, this fucking guy gets it. He knows. Like that. Like,
Well, that's the problem with like by that time, and the reason why Cena became pretty cheesy was everyone knows all the
no,
tricks.
no, no, no.
Everyone was super literate to like how
No,
pro wrestling works.
it's more to that to the Cena hate because this they
You really
also
got to get them in when they're young, and then you got to get them to leave when they're 15. Otherwise, pro wrestling fans like us that stick around too long, where it's like, yeah, man, this is just they have their six tricks and they don't have anything else. It's not them that's the problem. It's you. You stayed too long at the party.
yeah, exactly. You're upset. You're upset. You're upset that McDonald's isn't keto. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You not only do you stay too long at the party, you treat the party like you live there now. It's like
yeah, like
just
no,
fucking leave,
just
man.
leave, bro. Yeah, be like me and Dylan. Stop drinking in that basement with four dudes. Get sober.
Yeah.
Start smoking weed a bit more. And you know what? You get better at your jobs. You sleep better, but you're not fine.
Yeah, sure. That's what wrestling. That's why you should after this podcast ends, everyone should stop watching wrestling. We are going to be the fucking Branch Davidians of wrestling.
Stop
We
watching.
want there to be 2,000 less wrestling fans after we wrap this up.
Guys, I'm going to say this. Stop watching wrestling. Start wearing black polos with yellow piping and stop
Mhm.
masturbating. That's right. Surprise.
Oh yeah, no fap.
Yep. Surprise. Proud Boys all along. No one is surprised.
Or the other option, which is accept the natural dip in your testosterone and just fap less because you're old.
Oh, yeah. What you can also just do is do the opposite of no fap. What I do, full fap. You masturbate so much, you get the same power.
Really?
That's right. If you do it 5 times a day, every day, you walk into a situation going, "Do you know how sad I already am?" You know what I mean?
I honestly can't keep track of how much cum there is on any piece of this clothing. Let's make a deal.
I want you to know this shirt was black, now white. These are cum
Mm.
stains.
Yeah, I smell like old cum. Prepare to be debated.
Yeah.
No, yes. Fine.
I'm the only person that truly embraces the true smell of a human. Old cum. Let's have a discussion.
Yeah. Uh did you know John Cena was the prototype in Rick Bassman's UPW?
I
Did you
did
know
know that.
that, John?
I did know that he also approached Bruce Pritchard in a bar and said, "I am the prototype." And I remember that from Something to Wrestle. It was the last good Something to Wrestle with was the episode where he dropped that anecdote, followed up by Vince meeting John Cena and Vince being so convinced that John Cena's on steroids. And he's like, "Get this fucking freak away from me. It's too much gas." And the takeaway there clearly is like, he's not against steroids. He's against people that look like they're on too many steroids.
Yes, honestly, yes, it'll ring too many alarm bells. And is there a reason why it's like Cena would jump off the page? I think it's the whiter you are, the more obvious it is. I mean, Bobby Lashley is the most roided up man in the history of humanity. No, some people, the way their body is, like Cena just has that body where it's like his body uses steroids to be what steroids should be, versus like Brock Lesnar, where it's like clearly Lesnar is just juiced out of his mind, but he has still like long arms and a huge back. No, he's also very obviously on steroids.
Yeah,
I take it all back.
Brock Lesnar's also been on steroids now for so long, where it's just like,
Yeah,
this
he's
is
been on steroids since he was like 19. Yeah, this is who I am.
yeah, because him and Mike Tyson have the weird steroid voice, like the thing of like, like,
Hi, how are you?
sure that
That is funny. It's like, yeah, my daddy, I've had a bad, but no, Mike Tyson was fucking huge in like 13.
yeah,
He was
because
fighting adults.
but for the same reason, right? Like we're Mike Tyson was on gas,
From
obs.
13?
I'm saying it.
Ooh. Here's the only thing I will say is I don't think he had the money to be on steroids at 13 because he was just actively robbing people.
That's true, but that also seems like much.
But
Like,
for sure, as a like once he hit 18, yeah, there's some juice. But yeah, see, he looked so juicy that they didn't even want to sign him, which is crazy. Your dick is too big for porn. That's pretty much what that is like. That's crazy.
yeah, but welcome to Vince McMahon.
You want to be a clean guy like this. That's the warlord. Yeah, he's doing steroids in his eyes, ran out of veins.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like he's doing it. That's the thing.
He's actively doing it right now. Yeah, well, shut up.
Yeah, fuck you. I just like the guy. All right.
Yeah, fuck you. Make me come.
Can I just say, by the way, we're recording this in the run up to the Royal Rumble, and here's how you know if Vince McMahon's back in control of creative is he wins. He's coming out at that pay per view. That's my theory.
I would like to say this too, by the way, when they say, oh, steroids. John Cena looked like he was on steroids, and that's why we didn't hire him. How long did they wait to hire him, John?
I think probably one more cycle.
1 year.
One more, 4 more cycles.
He was in wrestling for 1 year before they signed him.
Because
it might not even been a calendar year.
Didn't he go? Because then he went there to OVW. Is that correct?
He started in UPW, and he was there. He wrestled for UPW until March 2001.
Yeah.
He debuted on a SmackDown taping at a dark match the day before I turned 15, October 10th, the year 2000. And his official first match, like 1999, his first debut, his first dark match for WWE was 2000. So that's like maybe not even a calendar year.
And then when is the very uncomfortable interaction with Kurt Angle in the ring?
That's 2002.
Ruthless aggression.
Ruthless aggression. But then again, that was a really cool angle.
Was it?
Oh no, I just mean like debuting all those guys by losing to Kurt Angle, and then he just beats the shit out of them, and then obviously once every 2 months or so a guy puts up a fight, and then you're like, that guy could be something.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's a great point. It's also because Wasn't this also around the time the Tough Enough guy just nearly killed 3 people in the ring, and then they put him in the Royal Rumble with Chris Benoit to get the shit kicked out of him?
He didn't kill three. No, what happened was Angle was roughing him up, and then he got pissed, and he just put him in a armbar and was going to break Kurt Angle's arm,
That's what it was. I really like that story.
and then got pinned by Kurt Angle, but like his shoulders were off the mat. It's funny because the guy, while he was trying to break his arm, was making sure that both of his shoulders were not on the mat.
that's called, you know what that's called?
Being cool.
Keeping kayfabe and being cool. Okay, so John Cena, when he's anointed, it's 1999. I assume Steve Austin's drinking a bunch of beer backstage. John Cena's just doing steroids, probably. Let's be honest, John Cena, the fact that he's
John Cena's filtering all the alcohol out of the booze and just taking the carbs.
yeah, just taking the carbs to do more push-ups to recover his abs quicker, so he can do more steroids. John steroids.
He got the most. Say what you will about John Cena, he got the most out of those fucking steroids. Good for him.
He certainly did, and still is. You know what I'm saying? He can really fill out a suit.
Also, his real hair looks like a wig. He's one of those guys. It's like, that's crazy.
What it also is he's also overstyling it now, and it's also he's clearly going gray, and he's trying to adjust by he's going gray slightly, so he's now over dyeing now. So when they have to dye his full hair, it doesn't look that drastic, and it looks awful.
It really looks bad.
Yeah, like it's just he doesn't look great. He's in a weird hinterland. He's sort of in the place that Brad Pitt kind of was in like the Ocean's 11 time, where it's like, listen, this guy can get it, but he's kind of in between looks. And now that Brad Pitt is like, listen, I smoke weed, but I also eat that ass. We're back to liking it, and I feel like John Cena will get to that same place where we'll be back to being just like, oh, this guy looks like a cheese grater.
I will say this. He's part of, for sure, a legendary new roster of people, which is Lesnar, Orton, Batista, and him. And the interesting thing about it is you think about the four, but it's like Orton, Batista, and Cena are the guys I'd say you start taking over in 2004 or 5 is when Orton, Cena, and Batista start doing their damage. But like Lesnar's really in and out super quick. Like Lesnar is pushed to the top and then gone.
Yeah, Lesnar's sort of this tip of the spear. Lesnar is the classic thing with Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon has never gotten this right. Who's going to be your main guy? Clearly that guy. That guy does not work out, and it's the guy that he never would have wanted every time, except for Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, he got it right. Steve Austin, Vince McMahon would have rather had a human shit.
Yeah, people say this a lot, but like, if this was any other era other than the company's actively in duress, Stone Cold Steve Austin would have never been their champ.
No, and they would have missed out on all of the money that he was able to later use to pay women to go shh, 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 shh.
Yeah, exactly.
So Brock Lesnar is in another company right quick. But part of an amazing OVW class. I think it's also not this. Jim Cornette gets a lot of truck now in the wrestling industry because he's basically the Rush Limbaugh of wrestling. But it is very important to also realize that all of those guys got a very good base in very traditional wrestling values, which I think you can really see in the difference in the way that they work and approach their characters and how they're presented to the next generation of like the guys in the Shield and all of that sort of stuff. Like there is a level to how John Cena still carries himself that is much more old school than you really see anywhere else. And that's very interesting.
Yeah, and they only know that style, so there's no like. It sounds weird, but it is. Yeah, there's no indie influence on him whatsoever.
That's a very good point. Yeah, like he is completely and totally a WWE guy, and he's also, to Vince McMahon's point, he'd be like, "Well, you can't really make a wrestler." He could be like, "You can't see me. Like, what are you fucking talking about? I made the."
Well, but all four of them, Lesnar, Orton, Batista, and Cena, are all that's completely.
Fair. But I think John Cena is the most still associated with that brand. He's never had a falling out. He has been a company man since day fucking one. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he came in and he'll never had a bit of he had a bit of problems, obviously, when he was just jittery John Cena. They gave him the rub with the Undertaker. Like this is the other thing is if you watch that first SmackDown, there are like he loses the Undertaker and loses Kurt Angle in like matches where they go back and forth, and then Kurt and Undertaker basically goes, "You're going to be good someday." So it's not like they didn't have plans for John Cena.
It's a good point. I just don't think that they thought he would go to the moon the way he did.
I think they thought that Batista would be, I don't know. And it's very interesting. Batista did work out. Like all these guys worked out. That's the other thing about them. Like all four of them worked out.
Batista was great. Batista's problem is that again, it's also I think that the issue also is no one talks about this, but Eddie Guerrero's death really fucked their plans for Batista because clearly there was another Eddie Guerrero title reign in there that became Batista's second reign, and Batista didn't get time off. And I think it's just Batista got burnt out with the business and then just wasn't fun to watch anymore. As opposed to again, John Cena has never lost his love for the game. Say what you want when he was literally being booed out of the building for a half decade,
Oh, longer than that.
a decade, booed out of the building for the decade, being shoved down everyone's throat, he still came across like he was having a fucking great time.
Yeah, and then that just made people like you couldn't have drawn up having a better heel, like a guy who laughs and then just does that like fucking weird smirk.
But also he wins. The
Fucking
thing that's
asshole.
crazy. The thing that's so interesting about John Cena is it's like he wins, and like even like the Summer of Punk angle, he really came across like he's like, I just don't want to like for fuck like they already hate me, and it was really humanizing. That's the interesting thing about that guy is he does make it a lot smaller in a way that like I've never felt with Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns. Like it just feels like you're watching wrestling. With John Cena, it felt a little bit like you're watching this guy go through. You know what I mean? Am I crazy?
Yeah, he was going through something. Like obviously you don't think wrestling's still real like you do. Like I know it's fake.
No, it's real.
Actually,
It's
it's
fucking
fake.
real to me, bro.
But you are right. He is actively going through something because he's just fucking a bunch of guys who look like us or worse are screaming at him.
Yeah, it was fat, and like it's also like you could just see he's like he clearly just thought CM Punk as a guy stunk, and he just wanted to grab the microphone and guys like, guys, he's a little Kurt, to hotel staff. It's not.
Yeah, and he says that obviously his career was saved by him rapping on the bus and Stephanie McMahon hearing it.
Oh God, I would get Stephanie. Oh my God.
Yeah, the Halloween themed episode of SmackDown, because he's just a straight up heel for a second, and then there's the Halloween themed episode of SmackDown where he's Vanilla Ice and raps, and then next week he was just a rapper.
Yeah, that's right. And then they just did that forever, and he was sort of a heel, and he would literally come out and talk about how his dick is big and how the town's team was bad.
Which is crazy that they don't just like soft try characters on Halloween shows. Like you created what you guys think is now the most successful character in the history of your promotion, and you don't just do like, hey, let's have a this guy's gimmick isn't really working out, let's try like he has a character where he's
I have a
he
weird.
just like whatever, like guy who
I
sucks
don't
the cum
think.
out of toilets
I
and
don't
makes him a
think they.
baby face.
Yeah. Oh my God. And
He loves the environment. He wants to suck all the water out with the piss.
yeah,
Makes
exactly.
him nut.
Yeah, he just wants you to suck your piss out of your body. Please welcome.
Mhm. Yeah.
Val Venus too.
Oh, suck it for C. I suck it for P. That's what the themes your line would be.
And just the sound of the waves, and just a voice going, "This is P." You're hearing P.
Piss in my mouth. Piss in my ass. Fuck my dad.
Fuck my dad.
Fuck my dad. Do. That's the theme song.
What wasn't
He
it?
comes out and then it's like the old Undertaker thing where he beats a jobber and then the jobber wakes up and his dad is naked in a cage and he has to fuck his dad. It's a real dark. Actually, that's a super bleak story where if you lose, you get raped by my dad. But yeah, that's the character, I guess.
I mean,
God blacks XPW.
all of this started with Dylan just saying they need to try more things on Halloween.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they should try. How
I,
much more of a heel would Roddy Piper have been if that like Italian jobber he made fun of, if he fucking that jobber was slapped out and then fucking forced to fuck Piper's dad? They would have made WrestleMania twice a year.
WrestleMania would have been every day until
Yeah, WrestleMania would have been every day for the last 30 years.
until 2017
Yeah.
when the Trump would have been elected, and then everyone just went, "Wait, what happened? All right, we need to fix some stuff."
Well, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is. Oh, I guess this is real now. Boo.
Oh yeah, this is another one which is something that they do a lot, but still not enough. Was Cena had Bull Buchanan as his um
I love Bull Buchanan and
dude.
Tyson Tomko both have the craziest careers and that their names are tattooed in my brain. And they
Mhm.
maybe worked for the company each a year. Maybe a year.
And also, like, anytime you tried to make them more than just a guy who stood next to another guy, people were like, fuck you.
Guess again. Yeah.
But this is why I love the Bull Buchanan thing, where it's like Bull Buchanan as B squared was so good because first of all, you couldn't have like they literally couldn't have cast someone that suited being a rapper less than Bull
I could
Buchanan.
agree
Like
with
he
you
looks
more.
exactly like what he is, which is literally a shitty cop who becomes a rapper. Like,
Yeah, but you'll here's Bill Buchanan looks many things, and fun is none of them.
yeah, that's great. It's great. You have just a guy who looks like a shit like and he's just in fucking powdered blue every week. It's perfect.
Do you ever just think about Bull Buchanan having to go to an accountant and being like, "How did you earn $250,000 in all these different states, Mister Buchanan?" In my mind, that's his real name, and he's like, "I'm a professional wrestler," and even I guarantee that guy would be like, "No, you're a bouncer."
He was 6'7" apparently. Oh, you know who else he was?
Big pile of shit.
Recon.
No, he was in the Truth Commission.
Yeah, he was Recon. They
Remember-
kept him around for a while.
Wow, Vince McMahon. Every once in a while, he's like, "I really want to play with my food." I guess this guy just won't get a fucking Oxycontin edition. I broke Maven. I'll break you.
And then you know where he was for 7 years? Japan. Japan loves to just take like which weird fucking
Yeah.
guy can we just fucking Bull Buchanan's son. Now I'm fucking in it.
Where does Bull Buchanan's son go to high school, Dylan? You psych.
I don't want to say that. I'm just seeing Bull Buchanan now. I'm looking up Bull Buchanan and he looks hot and he's good.
That's good.
Guess where he is? He's working at the Carroll County Jail. Good for him.
Where the hell's Carroll County?
Georgia. He's fucking living the gimmick that his one true role model, the big boss man, had. Anyway, continue, John.
Here's the thing with John Cena in the early days is that we really missed out on the B squared Cena feud.
Yeah, that should have been at least a year.
It should have been at least 2 years, and it should have been every
Should have been,
cell
yeah.
that starts with a rap contest between the two of them. Winner gets a gun.
Yeah, and I think Bull Buchanan, yeah, Bull Buchanan should have just said the N word until Cena had to step in, and then that makes him a bigger heel because everyone wanted to say the N word. It was 2005.
2005. Literally, do you want
Bull
to know?
Buchanan was just exercising his rights as a citizen.
Just making a joke. It was funny. Did you laugh? No, I don't have to laugh at comedy. I just have to say it was comedy.
Yeah,
So it
and
happens,
then
it becomes
Vince
comedy.
McMahon forces a weeping Shelton Benjamin to be on Bill Buchanan's side. Shelton Benjamin is actively weeping because part of his family is sick, and now he has to co-sign that it's fine that Bull Buchanan says the N-word
By the way,
as his catchphrase.
when we say cosign, we mainly bring out a piece of paper that says "I, Shelton Benjamin." Not only
He says the N-word, and then Shelton Benjamin goes, "This is fine."
yeah, he goes, I asked him to do this.
Shelton Benjamin, of course, who had that gimmick where he had just like a big fat mom who wanted to fuck the Big Show. That was one.
Oh my god,
That was one of the most racist things that's been on television that wasn't just a slur.
Let me tell you how that happened. And I know how it happened. Is Vince McMahon walked by a poster for the Martin Lawrence movie vehicle Big Mama's house and just went, we can do that with Brock Lesnar's friend.
I do, I do believe you when you say that. John Cena has the spinner belt, and he gets over so quick.
He gets a U.S. title shot at WrestleMania 20, which is the great coming out party of we're officially leaving any remnants of the Attitude Era goodbye. Say goodbye to American Badass. Say hello to that Undertaker with a weird sunken chest. Say hello to Chris Benoit, and then say quickly goodbye to Chris Benoit.
And say bye to his family.
And say goodbye to his family. Say hello to Eddie Guerrero as a main event talent. Say goodbye to Eddie Guerrero as a main event talent. Say hello to Rey Mysterio Jr. He's about to embark on another Hall of Fame career. I know you're thinking he already had a Hall of Fame career in ECW and WCW. Yeah, pales in comparison what he's about to do. He's the best part of the Judgment Day angle because he just keeps appearing wearing his mask when he's at his own house. And I think it's the funniest thing they've ever done.
That's the crazy thing about Rey Mysterio is that like they could have just skipped everyone and given him the title. Like the fact that they had to give him the title because he sold so much merch, and Vince McMahon probably just fucking like bought a person to beat to death that night because he had to give the title to a 5'6" guy.
In a deposition, claims the reason why he started sexually assaulting women at the Titan Towers because he had to give the
No.
belt to a 5'6" man.
No.
5'6" man.
No, because that was in the 80s. Oh, you mean at Titan Tower specifically? He used to go
Titan
off
Towers,
site.
yeah, he
And then
used
he
to go
just
offsite. And he used to,
then he became a recluse.
no, he literally said, "I've got to get caught now," and then they just would society would not stop his horrible crime, and he just continued on until now. So you know, you have to thank for Vince McMahon. No, you have to thank for 4 months of WWE television that we all can agree was really watchable. That's right. Once again, Rey Mysterio Jr.
So yes, he.
to me.
This is really like the last thing they booked well is John Cena becoming the WWE champion. No, I shouldn't say that.
No, that's not true.
John Cena and Batista, that coordinated effort of actually crowning new champions who are both believed by the audience. Vince likes them like that. This last time that happened.
I tell you why. I looked up the timeline. You know, it was one of the last. You know, who's literally wrapping it all up, like the final. Now, nothing to do with talent relations. It's Jim Ross. This is the John Laurinaitis Jim Ross crossover. Finally, this is when Jim Ross is completely done. He's no longer consulting or anything to do with talent relations. And boy, oh boy, can you like looking back?
You can tell immediately. Yeah.
Wow, what a difference!
Oh my God! Even the mid carders. Like I'm just looking at names here, and it's like Carlito.
Oh my God! And
Carlito was good.
Carlito was fine. I wouldn't say Carlito was good. I mean, but thank God for Carlito.
No, he's good. He's in like whatever. They wanted Carlito, and they thought, and Bruce Pritchard still thinks Carlito could have been like a fucking world champion, but like he was a good, IC guy. Came out, said his thing. He's done now.
The thing that was pretty great about Carlito was the angle where they stabbed John Cena in a nightclub.
Oh yeah, and it's got piss on it, and yeah,
so nuts. So yeah, so he's the U.S. champion. He wins that.
Oh yeah, that was a real angle.
It was a real angle.
And who's Carlito's father?
Carlos Colon.
Yeah, and Puerto Rican who was there and
who more than likely oversaw and ordered the execution of Bruiser.
Yeah. But this, why don't we do what we did to Frank? Can you stop saying that? It implies you're dead. Okay, fine. Why don't we not do what we not did to Frank? Wink, wink.
Yeah, okay. Let's do what we didn't do to Bruiser Brody. That's not the same.
Okay, fine. His real name is Frank Goodish, and I ordered his murder. Is that fine? Is that something that is fine to say, Carly? You fucking bitch.
I don't know how to be subtle, but I do know how to be honest.
Cena does a lot of shit too. All right, here's when I started liking Juan Cena. Can I tell you?
Oh my goodness, go ahead.
I started liking John Cena when clearly people are starting to hate him because he's super cheesy. Because now it's like you're a PG rapper, which there's nothing worse.
He's the PG rapper because again, remember, he's U.S. champion. He's coming out. Word life.
You're gay. Word life. You're gay. Big dick. You know.
Word life.
Climate change. Not real.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Word life. Climate change.
I don't even know what an
real.
adjective is, let alone a pronoun. Word life. And then he heads over to Raw.
Yeah. Him. He.
And then we
God's
real. We get the second greatest Royal Rumble ever. First greatest is the one that I'll eventually participate in.
Okay.
Throwing my gauntlet down. But it's when Batista and John Cena somehow eliminate themselves and Vince McMahon rips both of his
Yeah, so he rips both his quads out. And this also helps too, because like the finish they have to come up with is just like Cena just Batista dumping Cena over the top. And every subtlety of that is like Batista's their dude.
Yeah, exactly. Batista's their dude.
They're supposed to do like a disputed. It's funny because the way they ended up doing it really nails home. Like, yeah, Batista just chucks him. That's it. He fucking chucks him. There's no like subtlety to it. And then it just it just stamps Batista is the dude, which makes sense if you look at their ages as well. John Cena gets into wrestling and is in WWE by the time he's 23. Wow. So it's like he's in his late 20s as a champ, and Batista's almost 40, right? So
yeah, because Batista had to be Leviathan and be bothered by Jim Cornette for all those years. So basically, yeah. So he heads on over. He's then they do the build of him and JBL. It's very simple. It's easy. JBL's the bad guy. John Cena's the good guy.
Yeah, he wins in like 10 minutes. There's no nothing. It's just literally, yeah, you won easy.
He wins in 10 minutes. The reason why they had to cut down the match drastically because of how overrun every segment went during WrestleMania 21. The one thing I will say that is amazing about it is because he's not the last match, he celebrates. And you get this amazing photo of him being held by the whole crowd, holding the belt. And then Batista is in the middle of the ring with fireworks. So it did this accidental thing because they put both of them on WWE.com. I remember this because I didn't watch the pay per view because I couldn't afford it. And none of my friends liked wrestling because I was in college university. And it looked like these are our new guys. And John Cena looked like the fans liked him more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the prevailing image of WrestleMania 21 was that. And then we get that beautiful build, him switching to Raw that we've already covered. And then they start just feeding this guy. Absolutely. This is how you build a legacy star. Boom. Who's his next opponent? Triple H. See in hell, Trips. Boom. Who's his opponent after that? HBK. See in hell, Sean.
No, they don't do the Triple H thing for a while.
I thought who's the one after? Who's at 22 then?
I'll check. What I was gonna say is he wins the title. He pivots to being the Marine because remember he's the original Marine, motherfucker.
That's goddamn right. Not the fucking Miz.
Yeah, he's I'm just double checking the WrestleMania 22 thing. The thing I was gonna say is Triple H is the internet's number one hated guy.
Not
and when Triple H leaves, that's when John Cena's number one hated. But the thing is, people hate fucking Cena. He goes into ECW One Night Stand against Van Dam as the champ. He's the second One Night Stand, and they boo the shit out of him. He's in danger. That's the other thing is this is the last time I can. It's like he is in danger, and that totally should have been Triple H, but Triple H would never have put himself in that situation because he doesn't want the optics of him being booed by an entire crowd. But that second One Night Stand, that booing of John Cena launches fuck John Cena for the next like 8 years.
That's an amazing point. I didn't think that way. By the way, apologize to me. WrestleMania 22 was Triple H. Apologize to me now. Apologize.
So they have to go. Yeah, they have to go to. They have to go to Triple H. Sorry, they have to go to Cena over Triple H.
Yeah, and that's the only time Triple H loses. Then yeah, WrestleMania 23 is Battle of the Billionaires. It's HBK Cena. And then 24 is 24 Orton, Cena, and Triple H? No. Is that what the match was?
I don't fucking know. Take that, bitch.
I liked it. It was very you got me.
Cocked.
25 20 oh my god, 24 25 26 is a brutal slog of professional wrestling. That is an absolute march through fucking hell with fucking spikes strapped to your tits. Go.
But he's basically done as champion by WrestleMania 30. And by that I mean is like then you get like he's John Cena, he's the franchise John Cena from 22 until let's say 29.
Okay. He's coronated 21, and it's basically within him.
But the only reason that he gets to become the franchise John Cena is because Batista does a fucking interview saying everyone knows. Like, and it's funny because Batista's trying to work the dirt sheets, bro. Ugh. But he's going like, everyone knows SmackDown is a lesser brand than Raw, which is like they treat it that way. But Vince doesn't want anyone to say that, so he immediately sends Batista to SmackDown. And two things happen when Batista's to SmackDown. Oh, I shouldn't say that. The first thing is Batista happens to SmackDown, and the thing that happens there is he loses a backstage fight to Booker T. And for some reason, Vince McMahon becomes fucking Bill Watts and goes, "My champion can't lose backstage fights. You have the job now."
I know, it's the weirdest sort of thing. It's also that only really came out because he started jobbing. It's a punishment for a thing that you wouldn't have known about unless I had created this punishment.
And it's fucking weird. But that's why, and obviously Cena is like
There's also a huge.
way better for what WWF wants. And also, like when Cena, the other brilliant thing about Cena is his character isn't reliant on that he's a power wrestler, but like he can do a lot more power moves than a lot of guys. For the main reason being his finishing move is the attitude adjustment, the AA, the FU, which is just a fireman's carry, and it's pretty impossible to like do a power bomb to someone,
But he
but you
can do
can
it in
just
the Big Show.
deadlift someone on your
Yeah,
back. Like that's
he deadlifts everybody. It's all it is a Death Valley driver. Like guys, it's the fucking Death Valley driver. Like it's not a fucking tough move into the worst
it's
submission move.
it's worse than a Death Valley driver, because a Death Valley driver, at least you're doing a thing where they land on their neck. With this move, you're just like flipping them over like
That's true. Yeah, just well, there you go.
it's nothing.
Also, the
You
thing
can watch in a real fight, watch what happens, but literally Daniel Cormier was like, why are they making me face this old man Dan Henderson? Daniel Cormier, honest to God, he is a wrestling fan, did the attitude adjustment to a actual man, and then also did the world's strongest slam for no reason. He was just inside control. He was lying. The other guy's lying here. He's lying this way. He literally picked him up and slammed him. He did both. He did both wrestling champions finishers in one match. That's a man.
Can I just
That's
say
how a
that
man does it.
Daniel Cormier? I love Daniel Cormier. I think that he is a great boon to the journalism of the UFC. And I also love that he just has a cokehead who's better at him than the thing that he loves. And it just makes me, he just seems so human that you just know that he's just like a millionaire and I love my son. And I fucking am going to piss on John Jones's.
We have to talk about who maybe the.
Can I just say one thing
No, you can't.
Okay. The internet
I'm
wrestling
kidding.
community. Thank you. You pranked me. Had came alive from WrestleMania 21 to by the time we get to WrestleMania 25. The other thing is, not only does he appear at ECW and it's fun to boo John Cena, by WrestleMania 25, there is a huge amount of people that are watching wrestling to hate it. One of them is named John, the other one's named Dylan. And this becomes such a weird problem for John Cena because he's selling all this merch to kids, but the people that are getting drunk and coming to shows fucking hate his guts. And
yeah,
cheer like Kevin Thorne and CM Punk. The problem.
Everyone wants CM Punk, and they just will not let CM Punk be successful.
And they also, everyone really wanted Rob Van Dam, and they never gave us Rob Van Dam.
Yeah. Or they did, and he lost to
Sabu.
Cena did the job to Rob Van Dam, but like
only because Edge speared him through a table while wearing a.
Well, and also the fact that if you watch that match, it's literally like John Cena beating the shit out of Rob Van Dam for the entire match, and then yeah, exactly. Edge has to help Rob Van Dam win.
Also, the craziest thing was that weird launch in 2006 of second ECW, and here's why. It was so weird. They did like 3 weeks where Paul Heyman's in charge. Paul Heyman's immediately the heel. And then Rob Van Dam and Sabu get arrested for weed. And then the champion's the Big Show. And it's suddenly WWECW.
Yeah. But man, the launch of that. And it shows like fucking that first match where Cena has I forget what the placement of it, but Cena against Sabu, where it's like Sabu comes off and does the triple jump leg drop to the outside and hits it perfect on the announce table. And I just remember thinking, like, if they let Sabu beat John Cena, they now have like a new top star. And of course they didn't, but like.
Well, here's the thing. That was before the pay-per-view. That was that weird like ECW evasion. That's the fun thing where Sabu comes out the wrong entranceway because he doesn't know how to make an entrance because he's got CTE and his entrance is turn the lights out and I'm just in the ring.
Yeah.
Play my entrance music after.
Which is brilliant because literally you can just do that anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the lowest budget, best entrance you could possibly have. Anyway, you got to talk about, of course, John Cena's million-year feud with Edge, where it's like everyone fucking hates John Cena,
except
everyone hates Edge just a bit more.
Because
they have some amazing matches.
Because Edge was basically like Edge was a Ed Hardy shirts if he was a guy. Like Edge was so of this time, just a 2000s douche. Yeah, I dye my hair blonde. I also, it's gonna turn out in about 10 years, am a sexual criminal. Like you know what I mean?
Also, Edge he legit, Cucked Matt Hardy. Sick.
Oh, this is the other thing. It's never really been like so Edge. Like the backstory of that is so insane, and it's never been explained why the WWE's reaction was, "Well, we better fire Matt Hardy."
Because Edge makes them more money. Edge and Lita make them more money.
I know, but
This is not a actual. This is not a workplace.
shut the fuck up. You didn't need to fire anyone over that.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
Okay, explain why.
Because Matt Hardy would have been there reminding everybody that it's awkward. So it's not an awkward workplace. You get rid of the guy who's a fucking bitch.
I stand corrected. You're right.
Also, yeah, I'm joking when I say that, but legit, Vince McMahon is your boss. Of course, he's going to fire you because, like, oh, he couldn't satisfy his wife. He's nothing to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we kill him?
First of all, he didn't tell me the people were going to be fucking his girlfriend. I thought I'd be the first one. I'm his best friend. It's me.
I'd like an explanation from Lito with HR present as to how come he gets to fuck her and I don't then.
Exactly. Call fucking HR.
And then if anyone
HR
gets to
is the
fuck
guy who
somebody, it's me.
betrays this or after he's taken Viagra, by the way. That's who our HR representative is.
Yeah.
How much you get fired. I test how hard his dick is.
Yeah, our HR is Gigolo Jimmy Delray.
Yes.
Everyone,
Criminal.
he's a criminal.
It's funny because of the crimes he's done.
No, that's funny. That's funny.
Funny prank is the idea that the police.
Therapy will never make them whole. There's no no matter how much they'll never be.
Therapist become a monk.
But yeah, he's I think this guy takes like crazy risks. I mean, you can totally see the drive that gets this guy to be the like. Doesn't he wake up an hour, like he learns Mandarin for an hour and teaches himself, like he's like always he's doing that thing where it's like self-improvement for 1 hour a day. He's that guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's that guy. Also, here's what I say is he's also and this is someone who lives in Hollywood. All those self-improvement guys, they're always like studying Mandarin 1 hour a day. And I also have 4 tutors that are paid for by a movie studio to come because at the time, and this is now completely changed because the Chinese economy is cratery. But
Cool.
isn't it? But the thing at the time was you just like movies are going to start being filmed in Mandarin. If you want to be an action star, you need to really appeal to the Chinese market. And John Cena doesn't fuck around. Like John Cena, if anything, he's like, I am here so that I never have to not have an infinity pool and a cigar humidor that's a room. So guess what?
Yeah, he wants to succeed in whatever he's doing, and just as I don't know. He's an interesting man. One day he'll turn the lights off and do a tell-all podcast, and it'll be terrifying.
Oh my god! When John Cena, let me say this very quickly about John Cena getting political. John Cena would be a really interesting person to do a little run through who he follows on Twitter. That's always so telling because people people do not think that people can check that, and you can really see who a person is when you check out the follows. You know what I mean?
Let's do it right now. We got to talk about and then John Cena. They try and recreate for some reason. John Cena. He's not following anybody on Twitter. John Cena does not fall for your little fucking. Here's the thing: he follows nobody on Twitter, and he follows like over 500,000 people. Sorry, he follows nobody on Instagram. He follows 500,000 people on Twitter.
What?
Like, do you remember? You don't remember that old thing? This was like a 10 years ago thing where people would just follow you on Twitter. Yeah, Tay Diggs. Remember Tay Diggs? Like a bunch of our friends had Tay Diggs follow them. And you're like, what the fuck is Tay Diggs following them? So because Tay Diggs hired a company to just be like follow everyone on Twitter. Because enough people will follow me back, and the number will get big, and then one day he just unfollows everybody in bulk.
Yeah, no, I know exactly. I know a bunch of people that did that very thing.
Yes, of course. We know weird grifters. Anyway, yeah, he has feuds with or the Orton feuds. I don't think ever did as well as they thought they would. Like you remember as Randy Orton as like one of the best heels of the late aughts, early to yeah.
I remember Orton being a much better heel much later on in this period. I always felt this was Orton this was Orton at his most. I don't want to be here, man. I just want to go to like a place where I could pay someone to suck my dick and then I could punch her. And they're like, Randy, what? what? And he's like, yeah, fuck you. Like the Randy Orton is the worst at this period. Like his matches are not good. This is the soccer kick time where like his big thing is like, hey,
Oh yeah,
really worried
the
about people
the
getting
boot.
concussions? Well, Randy is just gonna give people concussions.
Well, that was the whole thing. Was his the kick was not like the first couple he did were kicks, and then he fucked somebody up. So then the kick became this weird like run, and then he would just kind of like
It was always so
prance on one leg towards them, and then kind of they would look up just so they could position their head into the way of his shin
what
that
he would
wasn't
do is
moving
he'd
at all.
kick them here from now on, and it was like he would do it
Yeah.
really close to the body, so it was just basically shin up, and then they would react.
Mm.
He's not great. He's not great at all.
But the feuds that really are effective of Randy Orton, the heel feuds there are like the Triple H feud because no one got to get over on Triple H.
Yeah, the Triple H feud was real fun, surprisingly. And then also, wasn't this the match where like if Triple H uses a weapon, he's disqualified?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
But then the Umaga feud, the Cena Umaga feud,
super
um
fun. The Cena Umaga feud is very fun.
is great. And then that is they have no second move with Umaga. He's just kind of like a mid card.
Guy now. And
Yeah.
but then there's also this weird sort of hinterland time of him kind of now we're getting like, where are we now? If it's WrestleMania 26, yeah, we're like really starting to get to like just like into the John Cena sucks, get him off our television, fuck off time. And we're also getting into the real time of like put CM Punk in the main event. Like the cheers you heard on AEW a year ago for CM Punk are because of the amount of people that wanted him to beat John Cena. And I think that an actually underplayed important part of that period of time of wrestling is John Cena and the CM Punk feud, in that you had the whole build of the Rock match with The Miz, which was a really weird. And then you have the two matches with that. But in between that, you have the CM Punk beating John Cena at Money in the Bank, the best wrestling main event of the 2010s, the most fun match, the best ending,
Yes.
everything. And that is how John Cena played that angle. I think was put John Cena on the road to recovery because they didn't make John Cena a bad guy in that, which everyone kind of wanted them to. But instead, he was just the flabbergasted, like, well, I guess I'm the second best guy now. And that it kind of worked for him because they botched that fucking storyline so bad with Kevin Nash and everything else. But it kind of like none of it went on to John Cena for the first time. All of it went on to Triple H. And I think that that really helped him moving forward as we get into the like John Cena of the 2010s, which is really fun. Like it's the 2012 is the high dirge of like Cena sucks, fuck this guy. And then it becomes ironic and fun. Lesnar's in. We're going to have Lesnar F5s him. He beats Lesnar a bunch of times. And then they need to do the course correction on Brock Lesnar. And hello.
That is the other. You say the JBL win launches Super Cena, and then the mishandling of John Cena and CM Punk, where it's like during that CM Punk thing, it's like clearly they want like this is you've wanted Stone Cold Steve Austin again for fucking
Here he is. He's doing the. He did the.
here he is. He's got a paunch and he looks like a dishwasher. Like he's literally your new Stone Cold Steve Austin, and John Cena is so clearly your new unstoppable heel if you want him to be. But no. And I get why they didn't do it. It's because John Cena, which they obviously didn't have, but it's like John Cena is like a weird Hulk Hogan Bret Hart hybrid where he's selling so much fucking merch to kids, but half the crowd fucking hates him. So it's like Bret Hart 97, but even more so.
Yeah. And it also, by the way, it didn't affect the ratings. We all still kept watching to go, maybe this
No,
week they turned him
people
heel.
cared about John Cena, and that was he's also very important because he changes how the WWE views stars, where the reason they push Roman Reigns so fucking hard for 5 years is the John Cena model, where they're like, well, people still care about him. That's why they're booing. And they don't understand that, like, yes, people care. Like, Roman Reigns is a different thing because he's not selling all the shit that John Cena is.
Yeah, like Roman Reigns was just a wrestler that they just told us we had to like, and we didn't like him. And then for some reason, he started just being a bully that might be friends with Sami Zayn, and I can't stop watching.
Exactly. Like the Roman Reigns, where it's like, yeah, he's much more. They kept on trying to make Roman Reigns John Cena. And it's like he's much more like the Batista example, I guess, where it was like,
He's very much in the Batista mold because he's not. It's not. You don't care about his. You're like, I like it when he Superman punches people. And
yeah, exactly.
I still like that.
Everyone does, but yeah. And then you get Cena feuding with CM Punk, which just makes the loudest people in the arena are always the old losers like us and the old losers. But this is also like, I want to say most of the fan base is our age. Like the median age for a wrestling fan is our age. So it's like this is when the median age for a wrestling fan is probably like mid 20s. And
Us
yeah,
then, by the way, that's
pardon me.
well, like yeah, mid Twitter.
That's what I'm just saying based on the fact I think that like everyone who liked Hulk Hogan then Stone Cold Steve Austin just kept on watching.
Yeah, I think that the thing that's funny about wrestling is it's like, and those people are having kids, and one of those kids will like wrestling until they're 16, and then discover genitals, and then they'll be like, "Yo, I'm out of here, pops."
Cena does great shit though, because like he will always let you do beatdowns, and I know that sounds silly because like obviously every babyface would, not Hulk Hogan and not fucking Triple H.
No,
You can't beat me up.
Sure, Cena. Why wouldn't you? Although
Like the Nexus angle, but then Cena just beats the Nexus by himself essentially.
I think that one of the most telling and amazing moments of John Cena, again, in the weird rehabbing of John Cena that's accidentally been done, was appearance on Edge and Christian's podcast, super awesome show. If you remember that, where they just made fun of him for ever about that decision. Like, his Edge was like, I was at the curtain calling him an idiot. He shouldn't have done that. Like, he was like, that was the stupidest thing he's ever done. It ruined the Nexus thing forever. It was dumb. And it's like the thing that he would like that was allowed to happen, that he didn't censor it, all that sort of stuff again, sort of played more into the wrestling fans of being like, well, I think this guy he fucked up, but like he's not a bad guy. He was protecting his spot. And I think that weirdly helped John Cena get to where he is now, which is kind of like Hulk Hogan minus the baggage plus the put the music on. Yeah, I want to see him. Get him out there.
Yeah, he really is going to be the new Hogan in that like, hey, this guy's fucking may have a sex tape, but he probably donates to a charity during it.
Yeah, like yeah, he had a sex tape, but it's
calculatedly, but the charity nonetheless.
It's first of all, the sex tape is with Paris Hilton. They both look in the camera and go, "This is a make good for the one that you've already saw," and it is really weird because it's the first time you've ever watched a porno that's very truly passion filled.
John Cena, of course, he's in that Nexus angle. Exactly. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, like they were originally going to have Wade Barrett beat him, and then John Cena said, no, I want to beat basically everybody. I pin them on top of each other, then they all have to quit wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Which is basically what happens. I pin all of them, and then all but one of them has to become nothing but people that work at Home Depot, and then one of them can be a commentator for maybe Fox News. Will get people to
one of them has to become an ASMR video guy.
Yeah, is that true? Did one of the members of the
Ryback?
Is he an ASMR guy? I have been sleeping on
Ryback. Yeah, right. Ryback had one of the biggest videos on the internet like a year ago. It was just him chewing chips real hard.
Oh my god!
And then people are like, something else. Like he did some wrestling thing, and all the comments are like, "Is this the guy who chews chips real loud?" Like that's all they know him for. It's great. Anyway, then you get the quick pivot from the Punk angle to Punk goes to Triple H. And that's when he really bangs his head up against the fucking. Yeah, that's this guy won't even job to you once. This guy's gonna have his friend beat you.
Exactly. But you could lose to John Cena once, or you could lose to Sean Waltman on a house show where there was no one in the audience.
Yeah, John Cena might get his win back, but Triple H is just gonna have you pin. The equivalent would be if John Cena got Bull Buchanan to beat you.
Yeah, not even in a wrestling match. It's where slap fighting was invented.
Oh yeah, baby.
So, Dylan, what are you wearing right now? Is it jorts, then camo shorts and then back to jorts goes, welcome to John Cena in the 2010s. John Cena in the 2010s is a very
Mm-hmm.
interesting time because it is both the time where he's now just painted as Super Cena. Like they're like the amount of eye rolling that happens to John Cena post Brock Lesnar return, I would say.
Rose Brock Lesnar return. No, that's I think it all of John Cena. This is the cool thing about John Cena is if you were to actually write this as like a linear storyline for a character, it does all have like he's launched as Super Cena by JBL, and then it's all leading up to the once in a lifetime JK actually twice. Oh my god, how many people bought this? This is sick. Match against The Rock, where The Rock comes out and is just like, you know who originated calling people gay and saying that's bad? Me, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm the one who calls people gay.
And I'm the one who talks about my big dick, and I don't even need
Mm.
to fucking rap. Also,
Yeah, exactly. You know what? You talk about having a big dick. I explicitly said I ate a bunch of chicks' pussy. And that is a nice thing to do. I never
yeah,
fucking said my dick was big. I just talked about how
uh,
drunk I was and how much pussy I ate.
the other
And now
thing,
that I'm talking about this, the the original Rock was directly pretty much just Andrew Tate. So there you go.
yeah, that's so true, especially because the main thing he would do is insult women by saying, you sucked a penis.
Yeah. You've been in love with a man. That's gay.
Yeah, you are attracted to a man, which I am also, and I think you're attracted to me, but I think that that means you're homosexual. I've had so much CTE.
My dad raised me to
Sidebar,
believe one
sidebar,
thing: steroids, milk, together. Go for
sidebar,
it.
sidebar. There is a journalist on Twitter that every time Andrew Tate puts out a statement of like the stuff that is happening, he corrects it because he's in Romania. And like my personal favorite one is Andrew Tate just tweeted he's from solitary confinement, and that guy went underneath and went, "That is not true. He's being held at an offsite, and I can see he's outside. Also, you don't get a phone to tweet when you're in solitary confinement."
Sweet. Anyway, yeah. But then John Cena, and this is the thing where The Rock comes back, calls John Cena a big old bitch. Look, you dress stupid and you're a bitch, and everyone fucking loves it. John Cena clowns The Rock a couple times, especially with the promo notes thing.
No one,
Um, pardon me.
no one likes that.
People, no, people are like, oh, The Rock was like legitimately thrown by that promo notes line, and it was like, yeah, I don't know, man. If
Or he's an
someone was
actor.
just be like, hey, your entire career is shit, I'm the best. It's like you try and make it a bit real, and that's what he did.
The other thing I'm going to say that about
Like the John Cena character, he can lose in the ring, but he can't be punked on the mic.
yeah, that's
Or if even if he is being punked on the mic, he can't act like it. He can't really be like the serious John Cena where he would just be like John Cena would make dumb jokes for 8 minutes, but then right before the pay-per-view he would come out and he would talk like this. I've never been this fucking good. He'd just give that fucking
yeah, exactly.
generic wrestling go home promo.
He basically would do the ruthless aggression promo, but after 3 weeks of being like, "Your mom's got a big pussy flap," like, and then it would be like, "And let me tell you who does not have big pussy flaps, my spirit."
Yeah, it was the calm Jake the Snake promo of like he would scream when he was trying to be funny, and then when he was serious, it would just always be da, da, da. And not those were always great.
The
And that was
opposite.
the other thing. Like watching week to week and hearing nerds talk about it, it would be like, I don't think you can't just be serious man who's in duress all the time.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be. I got a big penis, and that's
Yeah.
good.
Or no, and then because the PG John Cena didn't have a big penis, he just was like, I've got a big
I got a big sack of.
personality.
Yeah, I have a victory sack, and I'm about to spray it all over your defeat face.
Yeah, exactly. Edge, you've got long, silly hair, and Lita, I'm beginning to think you're not a virgin. Tee Oh, let's all get in my tiny car. Oh, look how many of us came out. I'm John.
I'm just gonna say this right now. You're being a real rude boy. Like, this is also crazy that wrestling is such a whiplash effect. Within 20 years of ECW, John Cena's wearing a lime green t-shirt and going, I think you're being a bit unreasonable.
Mm. He's wearing the most, in retrospect, all the loudest colors and just fucking ignoring the color wheel. And he's coming out going, "You used to be a cutie patootie, but now you're just a patootie." And everyone's like, "Fucking, I want to fucking kill you. Back off." I come to wrestling for one thing. I want to see someone's ex-wife get fucking pile drivered, and I want it to be by a guy who's a real fucking pedophile. I want them to beat up their wives, and I want them to be on the run. Like, you realize the character profile of the
In
average pro wrestler is Andrew Tate.
Night Raw, to watch a man feel like God by subjugating a woman. Why is this person wearing a baseball hat and a t-shirt like an 11-year-old?
Yeah. I want to boo women who don't show their tits and then boo them again if they do, because that makes them a slut.
Exactly
No matter
correct.
what you do, you're fucked.
I want you to suck
Also,
my
if
dick
they're ugly,
until
they're
you
booed.
until you suck my dick, and then you're a whore. If you're ugly, you're booed for being ugly. If you're hot, you're booed for being too hot and therefore not part of something that I can attain.
So yeah, John. But anyway, those two matches with The Rock were dope. They didn't properly tell the storyline
Certainly not.
with him being like, oh, because it was like, oh, John Cena's just in a funk, and then he faced Lesnar and he immediately beat Lesnar.
It was the thing that was so funny. He's like, John Cena's in a funk. What got him out of that funk? Well, doing Vince McMahon's bidding. His favorite thing.
Well, he was in a funk of losing one match, and then he won the next match.
Yeah, he won
So there is no funk.
Yeah, no funk at all. Although it did give us some great moments like Brock Lesnar walking out after that WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw. That is the
that was amazing. That was how much people fucking hated John Cena.
They want.
Wasn't that the same? That was the Daniel Bryan one too. The yesing.
Was it the same? No, that was a little bit later.
Or was that earlier?
But
that was back when WrestleMania after Raw, before AEW. WrestleMania after Raw was just like when AEW would show up.
Yeah, it was just AEW. Like the amount of JBL chants, there would be like
Turn the Channel, Michael Cole, that type of thing.
Brendan Burns claimed he invented the Fandango dance at one.
Yes, the Fandango song, which everyone was like, we can monetize this, not realizing it's just them doing it because they're bored. But yes, and then after Cena beats The Rock the second time, then you get John Cena Legacy Act, John Cena
John Cena US Open. We get the John Cena
he takes over the gimmick that started to get him over and does a worse job of it, because every single week he's having these like crazy matches where they all do 9 of their finisher to each other. Yeah. Whereas like the linchpin of that was, like I said, Kurt Angle would just fuck these guys up sometimes. And then every 2 months you would get a guy who would push him to the limit. And that made him extraordinary.
That said, this also did give us
he just fucks him up.
Video of Kevin Owens' son reacting to Kevin Owens debuting on Raw against Cena. And it is possibly the greatest thing that's ever been put on YouTube. He's facing Cena. He's going to the ring. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. The greatest thing in the world. He's facing Cena. Oh, it's the best. But yeah, this is the weirdest great time for John Cena. This is he used to boo me, but now I'll let you guys drink near my pool. That's what John Cena, if wrestling was a neighborhood, John Cena is the bachelor that later it's going to turn out a lot of his girlfriends were 19, but right now he's just letting you drink beer by his pool because you mowed his lawn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, Cena during this period does the main thing, which was, yeah, you guys hated me, huh? That Roman Reigns guy. But you're rethinking a lot of the things you thought of it would be.
Point. Like, I guarantee Roman Reigns was like, did you really have to say that? And he's like, I did. I really had to say that because bear in mind,
Steve, buddy, the Roman Reigns, what was it? I forget what the thing written was, but suffering succotash was the punchline.
Oh,
it was like as bad as John Cena, but it's like, wow, when people who aren't John Cena have to say these things, they're somehow like launch boats to carry out a war bad.
So I think Vince McMahon has dementia, and looking back, you could really see when it started to take hold, and it was around 2015, 2016, and it was literally, they tried to get Roman Reigns over, and they tried to be like, well, his catchphrase is suffering succotash. Go woo.
Yeah, they tried everything with Roman Reigns, and then obviously you get the Reigns-Cena feud, with which Reigns wins. I mean, Bull Buchanan Roman Reigns era was not good. Once they got that fucking, it's crazy that like they had him. I want to know why they had that guy in a vest. Like, why do they have Roman Reigns in a SWAT vest for so long?
Daniel Bryan kept trying to shoot him, and they had to keep him in a bulletproof
Oh,
vest.
that's true.
Yeah, because he was like, "You have my spot." Like, and Roman's like, "I don't. I just play football. My dad was a guy with weird curly hair who never talked to me. I don't know what this is."
I just want to take care of my family. You have my spot.
Yeah, I gotta stress. Like, I'm just part of a family. I don't like. In many ways, I like Sami Zayn. He's fun. He's a fun guy.
I like him. But yes, we get John Cena against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. He's trying a lot of things. Like he's been jobber Cena. I won't say like, but like
Wow,
he jobbed
who won the WrestleMania 30 match, big boy?
Bray Wyatt, didn't he?
I thought John Cena did.
No. Bray Wyatt did the WrestleMania match where he made John Cena relive every single thing he's ever done
John
in
Cena
his
should have
career.
lost to Bray Wyatt. Should have lost WrestleMania 30 match to Bray Wyatt. He beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30.
Oh, sick. All right. Well, then he won. Did he lose to the Fiend?
No, he just lost a bunch of matches after this.
Mm,
I think he lost in a Hell in a Cell to him. But I do not think he didn't lose at WrestleMania. I can see it.
I think that's a false flag.
Oh, interesting. Do you think that WrestleMania 30 was an inside job?
Yeah, I think this was predetermined. I think in a real fight, he would have fucking
John Cena or Bray Wyatt?
lost.
Well, Bray Wyatt would use his magic in a real fight.
Yeah, in his real fight, he'd cast a spell on him, and then fucking John Cena would have to carry out pedophilia.
Wait, what?
That's fucking Bray Wyatt was based on the Yellow King or whatever. So
What I've enjoyed about this episode, it really feels like we're harkening back to the times of 2017 and 18 when we forgot that this was recorded and it was just like we were on the phone with each other just because it's just sort of like, well, this is going to appear in the wrong YouTube algorithms.
Oh yeah, when we had all those weirdos who listened, but then now they stopped listening, and new, better weirdos have replaced them. Anyway,
Yeah, now all we just have one kid and are slightly more manageable personality wise. We then have WrestleMania 29.
No, Wyatt ultimately defeated Cena, and following his victory, Cena's motionless body vanished from the middle of the ring. Yeah, he beat him. It was a cinematic match. Yeah.
I don't.
Oh no, that was WrestleMania 36.
That's WrestleMania. Yeah, you piece of shit.
He beat him at WrestleMania 36. The Bray Wyatt did.
And that's the Fiend.
Yeah.
That's the Fiend one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Fiend. Yeah, you shut the fuck up.
He just beat him his nightmare. But yeah, Cena basically the point remains. John Cena will job. Once John Cena has one movie in Hollywood, he's like, yeah, I'll fucking job. Yeah. Because he knows that he can just lose and then come back and everyone will forget that he lost. But now it's like to the point where like, dude, him losing to The Undertaker at that WrestleMania 2, where The Undertaker beat him in like 5 seconds.
Oh, it's the best where he runs in the back and puts on his shoes. Oh my God, the WrestleManias in the 2010s were a real mixed bag. Like WrestleMania 30, hoot. WrestleMania 31, way better than it should have been. WrestleMania 31, like the only thing that's annoying in that is is Triple H really reminding everybody that he's Triple H and beating the fuck out of Sting in the marching jacket.
Oh yeah.
WrestleMania 32, piss. WrestleMania 33, sort of okay. WrestleMania, I think WrestleMania 33. Which one is that one? Oh, WrestleMania 33 is Roman Taker.
WrestleMania 33, yes, is Roman Taker, but also, well, for Cena, we got to talk about his last little thing, which is John Cena and his feud against Roman Reigns, where it's like they basically do the exact same thing that he did against The Rock, but I would say Reigns fares way, way worse.
Yeah.
And then now that he has his tribal chief character, they basically did this feud again where Cena lost and he fared way, way, way better because he's got a good character now.
Yeah, and people actually want to. The people are invested in it. Makes sense into what the character is. It's just much better.
But it's also like they keep on making me come back because you can't do this shit and I can and I always could and I'm tougher than you. Basically, is like the fans hated me, but I dealt with it better than you and I didn't get cancer. And the fact that you had cancer makes you worse
It
than
is
me.
weird how often he brought up his cancer, like that whole
Yeah, as
promo.
a negative.
Yeah, the promo. He's like, "You want to know why you got cancer? It's because you're weak and I'm strong." Like he kept
Mm.
being like, and that goes for all the kids out there. If you
All the make wishes I did were just to look at what weak people look like
Yeah,
before
exactly.
they
That
were
was my
losers.
inspiration to go and do more leg workouts. You get these kind of ankles not staring in the face of a kid named Nathaniel who's dying of brain cancer and just going, the reason why this is happening is you did not have enough broccoli in your early life, Nathaniel. I was born with this. Well, then it's your dad's fault. His
Let
comments.
me ask you this: was the rice you ate seasoned? It was. Then you deserve the leukemia.
Yeah, exactly. Let me ask you this. What did you boil the chicken you put next to that rice?
Mm-hmm.
No, I grilled it. Oh, I didn't realize that you were trying to fuck me, Nathaniel.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you should have just had a big fucking ice cream and sucked the fat, just the fat out of some bacon. You fat fuck. That's
Hey,
why you have this
Nathaniel,
melanoma.
where I come from, you put lube on before you fuck someone. Nathaniel, you piece of
Mm-hmm.
fuck.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
apologize to the doctors for wasting their time, you fucking weak boy. That's John's that promo no one talks about. It was on a Raw. It was 45 minutes long, and Vince McMahon was at ring applauded.
I do like that Cena never turned heel though, because he was like, that'll make basically he was like, I basically want to keep selling merch, but also all the make wishes he had done versus Hogan, where just Hogan was like, yeah, I just don't want to like, turn heel because I like it when people cheer me, which is basically like, yeah, I never did any make wishes, nor would I ever do that.
Yeah, it's so funny. He's like, "Why'd you do the Make a Wishes?" Well, the children's praise filled me with joy. Well, John Cena, this is every time like, John Cena, you're gonna be a heel, and you just be like, "No," like that's what it just felt like he's just like, "I'm cool though."
He's
No,
a lot like Sting. He's a lot like Sting, where he's a guy who is like, I mean, John Cena isn't like Sting actually, because I know exactly what John Cena could do as a heel, and it'd be great from a big fat nerd perspective. But also, yeah, he's like Sting, and the fact that he's always a babyface is kind of like good. You need some guys who are just like tape to tape baby faces, and heels. Obviously, heels will always become. If you're one thing for too long, then you'll switch just to have your different character. But you know, he did it, and another babyface move. He's aligned himself with China against Taiwan.
yeah, that's right. He
That's
picked.
babyface to me.
It's babyface to everyone who listens to this program. In other news,
Okay,
our
good.
sponsor, we are brought to you by Xi Jinping transistors. That's
There
Xi
you go.
Jinping transistors. They're much like transistors that are in Taiwan, but we do not have them yet.
Hey, John,
Yes,
you know
sir.
Hong Kong?
Correct.
I don't.
That's right. Me neither.
That's yeah.
Let me tell you something that never happened in Hong Kong. Protests right before COVID.
Nothing
Yeah.
happened. That was the crazy thing where they got to in Hong Kong, where even because it was illegal to write anything down, so that people would just protest by holding up blank pieces of paper, and even those people were told, no, 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 but like in the way where not with words, with fists.
Yeah, they were told no, 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 no in that way where it's like, why am I in this room? And they went, no, 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 in terms of getting out of that room.
Yeah, and then they heard do.
Yeah,
Your
then
time is up, my time is now. This protest must disperse. I'll
yeah,
make sure of it. And then John Cena would come in and fuck them up.
yeah, word life. The party is in control. Word life. That is good.
I'm gonna fuck up some malnourished people. Yeah, just a fucking Aryan super soldier fucking them all up.
Yeah.
That's just fucking.
I'm a
Oh, John Cena does look like a fucking
Oh my God.
just Nazi dream.
Let me say this right now. When it comes out what John Cena's politics are, ooh, I can't wait. Because you know what? Tom Brady.
He has none. He's like any ultra capitalist. He's just like, oh, he has politics. Like who he votes for is insane. He probably does a write-in vote for the most libertarian person ever.
He votes in for his dad. That guy made me. He could fix this country, and his dad's just smoking. Again.
So, well, John Cena, of course, did the Marine, the peak of his work, and then has really dropped off fucking just dropped off a cliff since the Marine in 12
Yeah.
rounds and is doing all this bullshit Hollywood stuff and all that underground
Gone.
indie shit that we all like.
Best part of I thought he was the best part of the new Suicide Squad movie that was so much better than it had any right to be. Um,
Yeah, whatever character he plays is good. I watched the whole thing and I forget the name of it.
yeah, you also that was I know the time in which you probably watched that movie, and it was when you had a newborn. So I assume it was just a thing that was on while you were thinking, "Hey, does this count as sleep?"
No, it was, what do you call it? It was Peacemaker. I watched the whole Peacemaker
You
thing.
watched the entire series of Peacemaker?
Yeah, it
I
was all
didn't.
right.
Yeah, it was fine. I just here's my thing with all TV series now, which is like if it
Tell
starts
me.
just fine, I'm like I'm out of here because this is only going to get
Yeah,
worse.
there's so many good things.
Yeah, like it's just I don't have time.
I'm the opposite. Once I get through 2 episodes, I'm like, well, I don't really have any ideas of anything to do or watch. So I just do that. That's the thing about TV. It was a good aggregator because you'd flip through and be like, that looks good, rather than now where you're like, I have to like mentally commit to 19 hours of this.
This is why, in the end, and this is the funniest thing that every streamer is starting to really realize is like, you want to be the biggest streamer in the world, just to have Friends, Seinfeld, or The Office. Why? Because that's really all people really want to watch reruns. Like,
Yeah. All anyone wants to have is a ham sandwich with some mayonnaise on it, buddy. Bit
oh,
of taste,
God.
a lot of crunch.
Yeah, crunch. What's crunchy in a ham sandwich with mayonnaise?
Lettuce, the romaine.
Oh yeah, see, no, I do it old school. What you do is
Oh God.
put the ham in a food processor with your mayonnaise, mix it up
Yeah,
on white bread, roll it.
I did a gig with for old people, and I have a joke where I make fun of my father-in-law for eating just one folded
Of course, the
piece of
classic
bologna. Yes, and the with the bread, and I did that, and it was just the
silent.
sound of 150 men going, "What's wrong with that?
Yeah. My favorite part of that,
What's wrong with that?"
the truth of that is also that the lights were out. And let me tell you, as someone who last night got up, stood in darkness in my backyard, smoked weed, and then stood in my kitchen in complete darkness and ate a piece of pizza, I get it. Sometimes,
Sometimes those lights are too far away, man.
sometimes I'm not here advertising what I need to do.
No, you got to turn the lights on just so someone doesn't like, and you're
I
like,
know.
you just chewing, being like,
Figure
what's your fucking issue?
that's exactly right. I
Take a number
here
from
is
the
the
butcher for me.
That's exactly right. Here's the thing that you just don't no one tells you about being an adult is it's like, hey, all the stuff that was annoying when you're 20, it's the exact same when the only difference when you're 37 is you just know there's nothing to be done. So you're like, no, I'm not turning
Yeah,
on the lights. Fuck you.
you can have one nut out.
Sometimes do.
That's the other thing is, yeah. I mean, that's the sad reality of everyone. Everyone who's like, well, yeah, go enjoy your protest when you're 20 is just like, yeah. I mean, you don't. I'm just gonna go out and say that the world's gonna crush you like it crushed me, and it hasn't crushed me yet. I'm still protesting the independence of Taiwan. So you guys
That's
can,
why we
if
are
you
very pro
guys,
John Cena. Let me say this.
oh, we're very pro Mr.
Oh,
Cena.
I didn't realize that everyone.
John, speak Mandarin now.
I will. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, there you go. You guys can hear Mandarin like English now. This is all in Mandarin,
Welcome. Let me say this right now.
not Mandarin. Tell you that much.
Damn right. Not like those motherfuckers in Generalissimo Shanghai.
There you go, buddy. This podcast is live from Romania, and we hate Taiwan.
That's right. We are live from Romania. We are doing
Mhm.
inside Andrew Tate's cell. He is not here.
No, he's here, buddy. He just won't fucking fight us. Bottom G, Andrew Tate. Thank you guys so much for listening. John, what's the best thing about John Cena?
That he blessed us. That he came, he saw, he gave everyone
like Christ.
Here's the best thing that we have not even touched on yet. This is the best thing about John Cena. They changed the names of all of his finishing moves.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you.
His finishing move was called the fuck you, and then it was step over, fuck you.
Yeah.
I like that. Much like the RKO. Oh, that stands for the Randy knockout or the Randall Kenneth Orton. My other move's called the step over, fuck you.
Exactly. The step over, fuck you is my favorite.
Or the step over, face you.
But also the thing is, how did they change it from step over fate fuck you to just step over fuck?
Yeah, you think it's just still fuck? It still stands for fuck? Step over fuck?
What else does it stand for?
Step over face lock.
No, it's step over fuck.
Yeah, you think so? So you think Masachono was the step over fuck?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's fair. I think the worst thing about John Cena is that they could keep his character fresh, and just he was the avatar for Vince McMahon's either mania or whatever it is, where he was just like, no, John Cena is going to be our unchecked champion because I hate wrestling and I want it to die.
John Cena is what Vince McMahon always wanted in a wrestler, which is he's gorgeous and he just listens.
He's perfect. We make the Sting you make the Sting comparison, and the reason why he's a perfect babyface is because he's not. That was the one thing they always struggled with Hogan, and they struggled with The Rock too, was they're too big. So it's hard to find a guy who towers. You can literally find anyone that towers over John Cena. Like any 6'4" bodybuilder will just fucking tower over him.
Yeah.
But and any tub, you get good matches there because he can lift a ton of shit, and his finishing move was perfect because all he had to do was fireman's carry the guy and dump him on his back. You figure out how to fucking take this bump. Tub.
Tubby boy.
But like, is he stronger than Brock Lesnar? From a lifting perspective, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Also, and from a bragging about dick size perspective. And also,
I guarantee, yeah.
From the most important perspective, ideological perspective. Because you know what John Cena knows?
What?
To stand with the the Chinese Communist Party.
That's true. You can't beat the communists.
Can't not. Yeah. Don't look at their economic situation currently, but let me say this. Zero COVID is the way to go. No.
What? Oh, yeah. Zero COVID. Yeah. You got to try and get into the zero covered thing now.
Yeah.
Let's take a big bite out of Chinese politics, something that is very simple to know a lot about. And me and John know a lot about it.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you what I know a lot about Chinese politics.
You know what people want to see? People want to see and hear. You know how angry people would get if we just pivoted and did a Chinese politics podcast, and then it was successful? People would be like, they did a fucking wrestling podcast before. They would be so pissed. And we'd be like, well, sorry, libs or right wingers or whoever. Just everyone would be mad.
This is going to date when this podcast comes out, but I don't care. But I'm currently glued to the Steven Crowder Daily Wire feud. And here's why I love it more than anything in the world is they're saying so many giant figures of money. And it's just like, guys, the people that listen to you do not like. It's that thing that's very interesting about wrestling is they never get into the contracts of how much those wrestlers make because everyone's like, listen, a lot of people that are making 30 grand a year like this, shut the fuck up.
Well, they also don't do that because I think they don't want to embarrass. It's also a subcontractor thing, like the UFC, where they don't really release the purses because. Why would they? Because they're fucking everybody over and it makes them look like assholes. That's
true. And they also don't want to, they also probably, I also have such a suspicion that one day, what's going to bring Dana White down? Tax fraud. I guarantee that. Let me tell you about Dana White. There is no
unfortunately, instead of all the beatings or the horribleness of who he is, it'll be something that form he forgets to fill out or doesn't fill out because he's cool.
That's right. It's not going to be the fact that he's literally. Have you seen Twitter react to Slap Fight League? It is almost more embarrassing than watching Slap Fight League. Is the people on Twitter being like, "Why is this a thing?"
Because people like concussions. Also, another best thing about John Cena.
Never got concussion.
Theme song.
Oh yeah, no John Cena.
Best self-sung wrestler theme song of all time. Not even close.
Not even close. You're totally right. Also, the exact right moment to change the theme song and then never change it again.
Never change it again. Also, Naughty by Nature. Or no, who was it? Who was the sample?
No idea.
I think it was Naughty by Nature sued the WWE because of the sample. And you know what they forgot? They forgot that they already had licensed the sample.
Oh, that's good.
They literally signed paperwork saying it's fine, you use this in perpetuity. Thanks for the money. And then we're like, we're suing you. You're using our sample. And they're like, but what about this thing you signed? They said, forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, this man was like, I got to tell you, this is the first time I've ever been in the right, legally speaking.
This is insane. All right. I don't even want to win this case.
Yeah, this is fucking.
Can I hurt your family first? Because that's how I feel good. Anyway, sucky, sucky, quack, quack. Time for next week's episode about I don't know. We were gonna do AJ Styles. John, do you want to call an audible and do Triple H instead?
Yeah, I think Triple H is so funny. Yeah, we
Let's
have
do
to.
Triple H, and then we'll have our final episode the
I
week
still,
after. Who we're not even telling who it is.
we're not. I think we already have told them. Have we not told them?
No,
So wait, is next
have
week?
we?
Let's. I still think we should. Can we do Triple H, AJ Styles? I want to do that.
No, I don't want to do that.
Why not?
I don't want to talk about AJ Styles.
Oh, okay. Well, come on. But there was that whole
Flat is a Earth that's flat. He's got a flat wife or whatever. Who
got a flat
cares?
wife.
Flat wife, flat life.
He's got his fake name tattooed on his abdomen. He's got
He does. He does have his fake name tattooed on his side.
he had
That's
Omos as his bodyguard for almost all of COVID, and no one cared. He ended the Undertaker's career. No one cares. And he also, let's never forget this, talked about the flat Earth on Talking Smack. Can we please bring back Talking Smack? It was the best. Hey, Vince McMahon doesn't know what streaming is, so these wrestlers are being way too honest on the internet.
Well, yeah, there was an interview with Renee Paquette where he basically says, or also the interview with Daniel Bryan thing, but Daniel Bryan was like, yeah, I was just trying to get fired so I could work in New Japan. That's all Talking Smack was him trying to get fired.
Isn't
And
that
you could
amazing?
tell with the fucking flat Earth thing.
That was the best. You believe in flat Earth, but AJ Styles' reaction is the greatest part. Yeah, I've read some articles, and you're like, AJ, not good.
All right, that's it now. Bye bye.
Bye bye.